back to KK Cabaret, where we talk all things beauty, vintage, sewing, crafting. We're back. It's November. It is Knit-vember. I am wearing one of my favorite vintage dolman, I think it's 80s, 90s, but it's so cute and it's airy, and I live in Southern California, so all my knits need to have a little breathe in them. I am here because it is the beginning of November, and I want to talk about what I will be sewing, or my November goals, and the activities that I'm going to get into that will lead to some videos for us. So let's go with what is coming up in November that I am doing. And it's been a year, right? It's already been a year, and I cannot believe it. So I've got my handy dandy date book that tells me when I work. November 15th is Dapper Day weekend at Disneyland in Anaheim. They're going to have a free soiree, a free bazaar, if you will. And I'm going to take the family, and we're going to do our holiday photos like I always do with a tintype. And I'm very excited. I just love to go to Dapper Day. I love seeing my friends that vend, and I love talking to everyone. And everyone's dressed up. We'll get into that later, but I can't afford to go to Disneyland. So this is our Disney adjacent type thing that we get to do, because I am a Disney kid. I grew up watching the best of Disney, shall we say. 90s Disney, peak Disney. It was peak for Disney Channel. It was peak for movies. I don't care. Fight me. Anyways, that is November 15th. So that is next weekend. This weekend coming up, my daughter has a quinceañera to go to. So I am not making plans this weekend. I am making project plans, which we'll get into next. Then November 22nd, I have a few things. That's a packed weekend that weekend. So the SoCal Fiber Fair is in Pomona. And since I'm recently getting back into knitting, I want to go. I want to go and make friends. I'm taking my daughter, and I want to meet people and kind of create friendships or bonds that I can stay motivated with, if that makes sense. I like talking to people because it keeps me inspired. And I'm really inspired to knit. I need to hone in a new craft, if that makes sense. I am not a sewing master. I am by no means a sewing genius. I'm really not, but I love sewing, and it gives me a lot of gratification in making garments because I've always been a fashion nerd. So I feel now that I'm in my 30s and I'm, I need something a little different. Like I said before, I have crocheted and knitted small projects. I don't really make garments. So I feel like that's my next venture, if you will. So the SoCal Fiber Fair is in Pomona, and I'm just going for inspiration and motivation, maybe to make friends. Then on Sunday, there's a photo shoot for the pinups that I was in that pinup contest with, and I'm very excited about that. It's going to be at the Grasshopper Bar, and we get to be cocktail outfits, or glam cocktail dress. I have a red, and the colors are red, black, or gold. I am not sewing for this. I was going to. And then the fabric at Michael's was $25 a yard. No. And it was cosplay fabric by that standard too. No, I will not be buying $25 a yard fabric in this economy. So I actually have a red dress that I wore that is, it's like an old pinup girl clothing dress. I'm thinking of wearing that. It's red and it's sexy. And I'm thinking because it's sexy, I can do some red jewelry, make it glam it up a little. We will see, but that's where I'm going with this in my head. And maybe some vintage waves. We will see. So that is, I'm going to vlog that whole weekend. I don't know if I'll make 2 vlogs, because I don't know if my crafters will want to see my pinup stuff. I mean, I put everything on this channel. You guys know. I'm a crafter. I'm a pinup lover. All you guys know. Then we have Thanksgiving. If you can believe it. November 27th is Thanksgiving. I can't believe it. I literally can't believe it. And that weekend I do work. the weekend after Thanksgiving. So I don't really have plans other than family time, which is good. I love my family. And then it's back to work until December, which we'll get into when we get into December. So those are like the activities I'm going to be doing this month, and besides working. And then I figured I would go to my handy dandy sketchbook that I keep all of my inspiration, my sketches and everything in, and I would see what I've done and what I planned last year that I didn't do, because my one thing I figured, since I have some extra time this week, is to finish some whips that I had. So I had some stuff that I had already cut out and I put in bags like this last year with the pattern and the stuff cut out, the project. So, and I never did them. I got caught up with a lot of things. Moving my parents and everything took precedence, and now we're doing it again, by the way. So I want to work on some whips. Let me tell you what I did cut out last year that I never got to. So I have to gift sewing. That's what's in this bag for my partner. He has two. He loves to, like, he always says, I want to match you. Whatever you make me a matching shirt. Sir, no. Not everything you want in the same fabric. Trust me. Like, he loves that sunflower fabric I just did a dress in. And I'm like, how can I make that look manly enough? You know, like, I just don't feel like I can, whatever, to each their own. If he likes it, he likes it. And then he also loved the green linen, but I showed him the fabric and he kind of changed his mind, because linen isn't for everyone. If you don't like that fabric, you're not going to want to wear it, and you won't wear it. If you don't like it, don't wear it, you know, or you won't wear it. So I already have these two Presley shirts cut out for him last year, and I'm going to make them this year. My funny thing about this is I cut them in a size large, and he has gotten a little larger. So I'm going to sew them at 1/2 inch instead of the 5/8 of an inch, and see if that helps. Then I made that blue Hawaiian dress. He wants a matching shirt to that, and that's in rayon, and I know he's going to love it. And he doesn't watch my YouTube, so I don't care if I tell you guys about it. I am going to make like a Hawaiian shirt, not with the Presley pattern, because I don't want a yoke in the back. I want a solid back. So I know I have some patterns in the garage. I have to pull it out, figure out the sizes, and then sew him up a Hawaiian shirt. And those will be his gifts this year. And I think there's something to say for handmade gifts. Don't make something handmade for someone that's not going to appreciate it. I know my family, my actual family that I live with, loves the things that I make them. So I make them things. But I do not make everybody things, because I had a year where I did do handmade gifts for everybody, and a couple of people kind of scoffed at them and made rude comments, and I never did it again. It hurt my feelings. So think about things like that before you gift handmade gifts. And if you have sensitivities like me, they call me Chiona. I'm a crybaby. So those are things that, like, that's one thing that's on my project list. I want to get that done hopefully this week. Then I have a Patsy cobbler set, and I drew a picture of it. I cut it out already. And it was in my, like, when I was addicted to plaids last year, when I loved all the ideas of plaids. I know it's coming up. Right here. Up here in the corner, if you could kind of see that. I already have that cut out. I'm gonna sew it up, see how it fits. My measurements haven't changed that much within the year, but I'm hoping I cut those pants out big enough for my bum, because I don't remember what size I cut at all. We're just gonna kind of wing it, because I do want to make cobbler pants, and that's the cobbler pants from Gertie, and I already cut them out. And so that's where I was going to go with next, is like Christmas sewing. I have this red striped cotton, and I want to make cobbler pants. Then I want to make a red linen skirt. I already have all this, by the way. I already have all the fabric for this. Because if I've written it down last year, this is my November sewing list from last year. I just circled it. I never sewed any of that. And some of it I had cut out. So the Patsy, I'm going to finish that up. I have the swing coat, and I already have that. I don't have it cut, but I have it all in a bag together too, the fabric and the pattern. So I'm thinking that might be a December make if I have time, because I don't think I'll have time in November to make a whole coat. I really don't. But I do have time to make that red linen skirt. I already have the fabric, and I have a coat jacket I want to wear with it, and I'm thinking of making that to wear to Dapper Day in a couple weeks. Then there is this lounge set in the Lemon Drop Kid that I'm obsessed with, and I write it down every holiday season. Every holiday season I want to recreate that set. And I think this year, because it's been a year of me recreating looks, this year I might just nail it. So I'm going to put that on the list. I'm going to keep that on the list, shall we say. This swing coat is getting a maybe. The lounge set, we're going to call it the Brainy lounge set because that's her name. That's getting a maybe. The Patsy set, since it's already cut out, that's a yes. All of my partners' shirts is going to happen. Then it's kind of funny because I also have like this gift list, and I ended up making Esmeralda's gifts, my daughter's gifts, later in the year for her. Like, I just didn't make them that season, like for Christmas last year. I did make them later in the year for her though. And so I also have her measurements here, and I have adorable patterns. She likes the 60s. I have really cute patterns, and I have lots of fabric. She also really likes those baby doll pajama looks. I'm thinking about something like that, and I have lots of flannel, and I'm thinking about something like that for her too, because she loves bloomer jammy bottoms. She likes that stuff, and I'm thinking of doing something like that. So I'm actually going to write that down. Baby doll bloomer jams, and then maybe a cute 60s dress. I'm going to put maybe. Ella, which is my toddler, I have little dresses and maybe doll clothes that match. I don't have a pattern for doll clothes. I went through my patterns just now for when I was looking through for these things, and I do have Barbie doll clothes. I am just not brave enough to sew Barbie doll clothes. They're so tiny, so itty bitty. And I'm not brave enough. But she does have like baby dolls, and I might just wing it. I don't need a pattern for that. I might just wing it and look at some of the baby dolls that she has right now and like their clothes, and just draft my own little baby doll clothes for her that match. And I did find a very cute pattern that she's almost going to grow out of. But look at how cute like the little two pieces are and the little dresses. I feel like I like ruffles on little girls, and I like to double the ruffles, so make them really ruffly. So that's what I'm planning. As far as gifts, my father never ever asks me to do anything like this, so of course I jumped on it. He asked for a scarf because he's moving back to California and he's afraid he'll be cold. He's older now. He doesn't watch my YouTube, but he also asked for this, so I don't care if he sees it. He asked for a scarf and a long one that he can wrap around himself in blues. And I picked up these blues for him. I feel like they're very him. He likes blue. And I'm just going to kind of freehand crochet a scarf for him. I have plans. I'm not going to release that because if he does watch this, those are the surprises that he can't see. Then I just picked this up out of my pattern bag. I bought this in high school. I've had this pattern for so long. Let me see if it has a year on it. It probably doesn't because it's old and tore up. And my dogs got into these patterns in where I had them stored before. So I don't see a year on it. I don't. But look at this pattern. Can you see it? I made those pants in high school, and I was obsessed with these pants. I am so going to tear apart this pattern and hope that those pants are in there because I want to remake them in my size now. And then I looked at the top, and I was like, I actually really like the top, and I don't know. I was not daring enough to make a top like this in high school. I could tell you that much. But when I'm looking at her wearing this top, this is so cute, okay? Look at the back. And I didn't even know this. I don't know if this will pick up, but it's like a tie corset back. Where's my camera? If I can. I'm going to tear this apart today and just see if the pattern pieces are there. If the pattern pieces are there, this is so cute. And I have some of this, I have fabric like this in my stash somewhere. I just have to pull it out and see if it would be suitable. Oh my God. That would be so cute. And those pants weren't hard to make. I made them in high school. That's kind of funny when I think about it. Like, I've been sewing forever. Anyways, that is on my crafting block. That is what's coming up for November. Look out on my Instagram for Knitvember, the challenge, so I can post. I'm going to be posting knit looks, all of my vintage knits that we've already cataloged here on YouTube. But I like to kind of go through them every year, see what I've got, anything new, and then also just see if I want to style it a little differently. Now that I have finished like what I'm doing, what I want to do, I have like a question. So we are in, and I don't like to say it like this because everyone says this, it's like so dire, but we are in struggling times in these states. I live in Southern California and we are a low income family, which is why I sew from old patterns or from, you know, my stash like I should be. But I really like honed out shopping this year, which I'm pretty proud of myself. I've only done like very minimal shopping. Even at Viva, I feel like I was so controlled. But this season even more so. I want, and I know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one saying this, but I was actually thinking of fun things to do with things that I already have. So obviously like stash busting, we can go through my stuff and see what I got and what I can make from it for the girls and everything too, because I'm not, you know, I'm not the only mom in the world, and all of us have kids, or, you know, most of us have kids or even fur babies. Maybe things like to make the kids or the fur babies. I want to get into canning and gardening. I did this before, not canning, I wanted to, but gardening, I did this before and I really enjoyed it. And also I need like some things that are stress relievers. So I'm looking at my garden. I live in Southern California, so it's easy to garden all year long, but also I just want to prep it and rebuild it because my dogs have destroyed it, and then get into canning. So I think that might be a craft and a homemaker's thing that I really want to get into. I love the 1940s make, do, and mend, especially since what we're doing these days is that's what we should be doing. I've said this is a caveat I can go into. But so coming up, I'm seeing things like that. And since I'm going to be doing it at home, I might as well film it too and just see if you guys would enjoy some of that. I love glam. I love vintage glamour, and I love to create the illusion that, you know, I live in Hollywood and I get to wear long gowns all the time. In my mind, that's my life, but that's not real life. And so I just kind of thought it would be fun to do like in a 1940s capsule of make, do, and mend. How did we do victory gardens? And then how did we can things? My grandparents on my dad's side, that was their life. They lived in the Great Depression. So they were really good. Oh, and also like frugal living type things where we're not spending lots of money, but we're still having lots of fun. So those are the things that I'm looking at coming up next year, or, you know, through this season into next year, keeping it very fun and vintage still. Don't worry. And then like I said, I'm getting into knitting, and I've got some Squid Knee vintage school of knitting patterns that I want to do. Like that's what I'm going to throw myself into as far as crafting. Sewing is always going to be my thing. I love sewing, but I really want to I want to get into knitting. So what are you guys making? Do you do gifts that are handmade? And what else would you like to see from me? And I'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe.